Welcome to On the Clock with Blue Chip Prospect and Prospect Don. We're going to be talking about top 10 prospect pools today, and the designation is you have to be under 25 and play under 25 games. So I feel like everybody can agree players like Frank and Nazar will not be included on this list. So just think about it that way. How you doing, Blue Chip?
I'm doing really good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. This is the off season, but there's no off season for prospects. The
Yep.
World Juniors Summer Showcase is coming up. I'm going to try to go to that. I already have my travel plans, but I got to make sure that I'm media credentialed. But I've interviewed like four people today, so that was
Yeah.
cool. Interviewing some of the 2026 guys. That class is loaded, so we're going to be talking about that soon as well. Not in this episode, but in one of our next episodes. So keep a lookout on that. But I think that it's good to talk about prospect pools as soon as the 2025 draft, just because there's so much added talent into some of these teams. I mean, maybe the Hurricanes are in there. They've drafted 18 Russian players in the last 4 years, which is crazy to me. That doesn't even seem like a real number. That's 4.5 per, or 4.25 every draft. That doesn't even make sense. So, I think the Stars only had 3 picks, in this class. So just think about that.
Yeah.
Do you want to start us off with your top 10, or should we go from 10 down? How do you want to do it?
Uh, I think we can start with the number one and then we go our way up because the closer to number 10 we're gonna get, the more complicated it's going to be, especially with the fact that I don't have a list in front of me, so I have to go dig in my head and try to remember which team has which player. So I think we can start with the number one. And I think the big debate here is going to be between San Jose Sharks and Chicago. I think those are probably the two biggest prospect pool in my opinion, at least at the top, because even Montreal was probably a top five. There's Ivan Demidov, but after that there's a significant drop in quality of player in my opinion. So I think for me, what's the best prospect for San Jose? It's probably Misa, right?
Misa,
is probably
yeah.
Misa and Dickinson would be the top two, and Chicago
Yeah.
would be Anton Frondel and Lev Shunov. And for me,
Even Sam Rizzo.
yeah, I think Lev Shunov still project as probably I don't know, but I feel like Lev Shunov is probably still the top right shot defenseman for Chicago. We'll see in a couple of years, but it's because they're not at the same stage. Sam Rinzel has played in the NCAA for 2-3 years or something like that already, so he's more accustomed. And for me, it's the star power was the most important because depth is important, but you can also find it on the free agent market. You can find it through trade, and it's not gonna cost you an arm and a leg to acquire it. But if you want to acquire a star player, it's gonna cost you a lot. So I think for a prospect pool, the most important thing is the star power. And if I have to choose between Anton Frondel and Artyom Levshunov as a top two prospect for my future NHL team, or Michael Misa and Sam Dickinson, I'm going with Michael Misa and Sam Dickinson. So for me, San Jose Shark, I think they would be the number one. They have also players they have two big-time goalies in Askarov and Ravensbergen. They have two big wingers in Chernyshov and Quentin Musty. They have even a small dynamic defenseman in Luca Cagnoni, which I'm not sure if it's going to work at the NHL level. The few games that he played, it was pretty terrible. But outside of that, he did really well in the AHL. They have players like Leo Salin-Valenius. They also took that guy at 33, the tall Chinese guy.
Simon Yang.
Simon
Wang.
Wang? Something like that. So, yeah, I think that, it's deep. And there's also star power, but they're really, really missing those right shot D, big time.
So if you're doing an average on the top three, where it's Misa, Sam Dickinson, and Quentin Musty, maybe, or
I would go Chernyshov probably. I prefer Chernyshov over Musty, but I think they're close enough.
Yeah, and then you probably have Anton Frondel, Artem Levshunov, and Rinzel. I would take those top three with the Blackhawks more, but even their depth, but also the goalies kind of push the Sharks ahead, and the Blackhawks defense probably pushes them ahead. So it's so split. I feel like in a tier, it's the exact same. Misa is the number 2 prospect now for it was either Wheeler or Prongman today, so that pushes them up. And Anton Frandell, I don't know if he graded as high, but I honestly don't know here. Like, I'm a homer, so a lot of the Blackhawks prospects I'm higher on. Like Lardis, Kanserov, I feel like they have incredible star power, but very low floors. Maybe Kanserov's a third liner if he doesn't work out as a star, but you have like Kevin Korchinski. I mean, he's not a prospect in the model that we're using, so I guess we can't use him. But I think that like Artem Levshunov and Sam Renzel are just a lot better than Sam Dickinson, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
Oliver
okay.
Moore.
That it depends on where you are with Sam Dickinson. Like I prefer Sam Dickinson over basically any defenseman in Chicago right now. Like he's a player that I really really like. It's not because of you. It's not because you're a Chicago fan. It's just like I liked him a lot last season. He was my number 1 defenseman, and it was followed by Bouillon, and I think he's still my number 1 defenseman. So like. There's nothing that Levshunov did that would like steer me to tell me that he should be over Sam Dickinson. I think Sam Dickinson took a giant step this season, and but it's so hard to say at that point. One played in the NHL, one played in the OHL, very different level of playing. So I don't know. Like I said, both are tight. It's just if I take the top, I think I'd rather have Misa and Dickinson than Frandell and Levshunov, but you know that I'm not the biggest fan of Frandell. I had a number 10 on my list, so that's probably a big reason why. Like I was much higher with Misa, so like 2 weeks later, there's no reason for me to change that.
Yeah. So. And I like some players that I like in the Blackhawks prospect pool like a lot that I think go overlooked are obviously Vaslav Neshersil, Mason West, Green. I think that the Sharks left a little value on the board this year with I think the Blackhawks did too, but they took like Ravensbergen, who I like, but you got Michael Harabel, Askarov, and some of these guys. The Blackhawks goalies are Adam Guyan and Comesso. I would probably put the Blackhawks over that. Like I think it's same tier 1A, 1B, but I'll just say 1A is Blackhawks, 1B is Sharks. But also, I've been watching the Blackhawks prospect pool forever, and I just feel like Oliver Moore just has absurd speed. Landon Slaggert's a guy that I think that gets overlooked. Vanacker is a first-round pick that doesn't get talked about at all. Boyva hasn't even been talked about, and I think he's a future dominant 3C in the NHL. So just based on depth and defense produced, I do believe that the Blackhawks are a little bit better. But the Sharks, man, they're building out their goalie system, and it's scary depending on anyone you ask. Like Askarov was a steal, and he's obviously who fits into this model, not playing over 25 games. I feel like he's going to be their franchise player for a very long time. Spencer Knight's obviously not in this, but he's under 23 or he's 23, so that would be somebody. But again, I would say Blackhawks Sharks.
Let's say you take all of the Blackhawks top wingers or forwards outside of Frandell, right? You have like players like Kanserov, Nestrasil, Oliver Moore, Boisvert, Mason West, Nick Lardis, Vanacker, like you said. Is there one of those that you would take over Musty? Maybe Musty, because Musty is still a little bit of a question mark, or Chernyshov. Like, are those players better than Chernyshov and Musty in your head?
Yeah, I mean, they got drafted, obviously higher than them. Like Oliver Moore was drafted before Musty. The Blackhawks were trying to jump back into the draft to get Musty, but I think Oliver Moore showed tremendous projectability in the NHL. His speed is obviously top-notch. There's a reason I think Musty fell in that class. Chernyshov was an extraordinary hit. I don't know why he fell that much. I had him as a teen pick. I felt like Boisvert is probably on that same level, but I think Chernyshov probably has a higher upside. But Boisvert is so projectable as a 3C. You saw what Jack Nesbitt got, and he went 13, or he went 12, and then you have Horkoff go earlier than I thought, but still late first. So I think Boisvert would have been similar range, 18, 19, 20 in the same draft. So I feel like this would be where I give the Blackhawks an edge there, because I also think Rinzel and Artem Levshunov are better than those guys. Like, Kanzerov just has higher upside than any one of those players because what he was doing in the KHL, point per game. I think Demidov kind of made him overlooked a little bit. I think Kanzerov is going to be absolutely legit, and he doesn't want to play in the AHL. So, like, that dude is going to make it to the NHL immediately after his contract ends, and he's going to show a lot of people. Larder scored 72 goals, but there's a lot of projectability that isn't there in his game, so I feel like he might not be particularly higher than a guy like Quentin Musty. I'd probably have Quentin Musty over Lardis, but Lardis could also have superstar power, just if he hits. Because if Lardis hits, he's going to be a star. If Lardis doesn't hit, I don't see a floor that much. Mason West.
Well, it could be like a second line winger too at the NHL level. I don't think Lardis is that much of a boomer bust. I don't think he's a third line player. Like if he doesn't make it into a top 6, he doesn't make it.
Yeah,
that's
basically
what I mean. The way I say it. But I don't think like he's necessarily going to be a star. I don't see the star level player anyway. But I can definitely see a guy who can like score maybe a 25, 30 goal on a second line and play on the power play too, if there is space for him on the power play in the future. So the way I see it a little bit is like, if I take the top 4 players of San Jose versus the top 4 player of Chicago, I prefer the top 4 players of San Jose. But I think Chicago is further along in their rebuild. I think they've done a better job of building an actual team, like in their prospect pool. Like the center line, they also have an identity with speed. They have great defense. Yeah, they have good defense with Lev Shunov. They already have what's his name, the tall guy at the NHL level. Your team. You know that?
A tall guy like Rinzel,
yeah, the very
Vlasic.
tall one. Yeah, Vlasic. So they already have Vlasic. They have Korchinski, who might work. I don't think he's going to come back as an offensive defenseman the way he was in the junior league, but I think he can maybe like recycle himself into a decent two-way player. I don't think he's not going to have the value of his pick. He's never going to be like a top 7 type of player. But after that, you have Lev Shunov, who could be a tremendous player. You have Rinzel, who I was really high on in his draft year, and I think like there's no reason to not be high on him. He's really, really good, and he showed at the NHL level the little bit that he played that he was really good too. So I think like they're further along, so I could understand like the 1A and the 1B. It's just like I prefer the top of San Jose, but the team is not built. Like they're far away from being something competitive, something good. But it's like, yeah, 1A, 1B, I'm okay with that. Perfectly fine.
No, I like that, yeah. I feel like number 3 is where it kind of gets a little difficult because obviously with the Ducks, that was kind of my pick, but Cutter Gauthier can't be in there. I believe Leo Carlson can't be in there because they played over 25 games.
Yeah, the Ducks the thing is, like Chicago, like they have a lot of high-end players, but they're basically all at the NHL level now. Like obviously they have Beckett Seneca and Roger McQueen, and they have like Steven Solberg, which are all good players. There's still some question mark on some of those players, but like their big core is at the NHL level. So I don't think they are. I don't see them as top 5 right now. Maybe like close to it, but not exactly top 5. If I was gonna go for number 3 and number 4, like I'm trying to look a little bit on the side,
like Habs Islanders, maybe. I mean,
I love Utah. I love Utah. I think the thing is, the way I look at it too is like I'm trying to see the fit on the team in the future, because the prospect pool in itself, if you just evaluate the prospect pool, maybe like some team have a better prospect overall, but how are they going to be in the NHL level? Like I feel like Utah is building a mammoth of a team. No, I think they're building something very solid, but I think like number 3 would be between Utah, maybe Detroit and Montreal. Yeah, I think that would be like I'm just not sure which one would you put on number 3?
I don't really like Detroit's prospect pool as much as consensus because it's a lot of safe players. Like I feel like it's the bottom half of the Blackhawks prospect pool is Detroit's prospect pool, where obviously the Blackhawks have had a ton of prospects, but it's all depth. It's all third line players, middle 6 guys that you have no idea. Like Nate Danielson. I mean.
Yeah, well, there's Axel Sandin-Pellikka and Carter Bear.
Yeah, those guys are great. But It's like Carter Bear went 13. Axel Sandin Palika also was in the teens, but he shouldn't have been. He was great. Michael Branson Nygaard is a great player, but he's also a middle six. So a lot of those guys to me are middle six. Like I think the Islanders would probably have the edge because you have a Matthew Schaefer. I don't think there's no one even close.
True. I didn't even think about the Islanders. Like, wait a second. I'm just gonna open the page.
I would say Islanders probably at the top, even because like you have the number one prospect in the entire NHL now, based on some people's reporting. You have Keishon Aitchison and Victor Eklund, who they just signed, which I believe were absolute steals. Prokhorov was a really good pick. Like you have Callum Ritchie, who I believe can still be considered a top prospect. So yeah, I feel like the Islanders at 3, like even though it's a huge jump, but it's 25 games played is the cutoff, and a lot of the teams that we've looked at, like Utah has a really good squad, but like Logan Cooley can't be talked about as a prospect in this. You have Daniil Boot, you have Shimishev, you have obviously Desnoyers, really great players there, but it's just like there's no Matthew Schaefer. I would say Victor Eklund is very high, Callum Ritchie, and Keishon Aitchison. So I'm going to go Islanders here and lock it in, and then 4 Utah, and then 5
you lock
Montreal.
it in with you lock it in. I don't agree. I think like the problem is that like the star power at the top with Matthew Schaefer is really, really good. Victor Eklund is almost a sure shot middle 6 player, probably top 6 player. Callum Ritchie is good, but he's not that great either. Cole Eiserman, it's
Hit or miss.
It's questionable.
It's Nick Lardis, except a little better. It's Nick Lardis, but you have star potential, like more star potential.
Yeah, like a little bit bigger and different type of player maybe, but yeah, it's like both shooters, both players who cheat a little bit for offense and like just read the ice and plays themselves in soft spot. But I don't know, the Islanders outside of Schaefer and Victor Eklund, there's not a lot that I really, really like in there. So, like, even the depth, I'm not super, super high on Danny Nelson. I like Prokhorov, but Prokhorov is far from the NHL, and it's not like it's a sure thing that he's going to be an NHL player. There's not, like, there's the physical and the physical part and the shooting part of his game to build on, but that's it. Like, right now, there's so much work to do to get him to the NHL level. So I think for me, if I had to choose between those, like, let's say between Utah and Montreal and the Islanders, it's a very hard one, man. It's a very, very hard one. Maybe it's a homer pick. Maybe I go for Montreal because of Ivan Demidov. Because like we were talking just before we started the show, like Demidov, I would have him at least number 2. I would have him before Misa, and it would be like a hard conversation in my head between Demidov and Matthew Schaefer. So I think they're on the same level in terms of prospect. And after that, like the goalie, we have it down with Jacob Fowler. We have Michael Hage, Jacob Dobish too. We have Rain Backer, Owen Beck, Jarofsky, like Florian Jaikai for the bottom 6. Like there's a lot of player coming up. There's a lot of depth. There's also some star power at the top. And like Utah, it's like Tijiginla, it's Desnoyers, they have Simishev. Like, honestly, I think I go with Utah. I think Utah has like, they have the depth and they have like the star power at the top. And I prefer I prefer Utah.
I'm actually going to switch my pick. It's going to be 3 Habs because because Demidov and Reinbacher, like those two are the best 2. Because if you put Schaefer, Keishon Aitchison, Eklund all in a basket versus the Habs top 3, and then you have Fowler on top, like guys like LJ, it's just deeper. So I would say Habs, and then 4 Islanders, and then 5 Utah.
Okay.
But it's also as Utah and Ducks, they're very similar to me because the Ducks have Beckett Seneca, they have Roger McQueen. You know, they did really good with their picks, but they also haven't had a lot of picks. So recently, so I feel like I'm gonna go Utah just because of the amount of first round picks they've had lately, and they've hit on their picks. I think Shimishev is an incredible player. I think he's very underrated. I'm excited to see what Boot is in the NHL. I have no idea. He could be a third line player or a bust. I mean, not a bust. Third line player or a star. I think his floor is third line, but he could honestly be a very good player. So 6'5", a lot of talent. The thing about I like Tej again a lot. So yeah, I would
Cole
probably put
Baudouin,
them 5.
perfect third line center too. Max Psanishka on the right side. Like they have like a lot of depth, but they also have a lot of good player at the top. Maverick Lamoureux as another defenseman with a lot of size. Like I said before, they're building something special, and a bit like the Ducks. Like the Ducks, I feel like their team, they are growing together, so they're not exactly at the point where they are like a serious contender or a serious like playoff pushing team. Maybe they will this year, but like they still have like players like McQueen and Seneca and Stian Solberg and Tristan Luneau and all this like in their prospect pool, but the team itself is already loaded with the Gauthier and the like Carson and McTavish and like they're already loaded up front. They already have a good defense, not the best defense, but they have a good defense, and they have a lot of prospect coming up. So I think the prospect pool is maybe not as strong as Utah, but I think the team overall, they are like on the same trajectory of building something like special for the future. So I would go five Mammoth, and then I would go 6 with the Ducks. Yeah.
I would go 6 Ducks as well. I'm in agreement here with you. And then 7 is a surprise pick. I'm going to go Capitals. I really like what the Capitals did. Lakovic, Milton Gastrin. You have a steals Andrew Cristal was a steal in my opinion.
I love Cristal. I had Cristal number 10. It's in 2022 Cristal or 2023? 23, right? Same year as Bedard, right? He's a Bedard friend.
And they were great friends.
So I even at the end in my last ranking, I still had him top 10, which everybody was telling me you're crazy. Maybe I am crazy, but I just like Cristal. Like he's not the same player as Demidov. Like they don't play the same style, but you have the same wow factor when you watch Cristal play. He's so elusive with his stick and the way he can control the play, and it's just so always selling something that he's not going to do. Like incredible distributor, incredible shooter. You never know what he's going to do. He's like Jake O'Brien on steroids. The way he plays it, it's I don't know. I'm in awe every time I watch him. So I really, really like him. And like Washington, they have Ryan Leonard, didn't play 25 game yet. They have Cole Hudson. I don't think Cole Hudson is as good as Lane, but I'm not sure he's that far behind either. Like you said, Andrew Cristal. They have the Protest brother, one in the NHL, one coming up. They have Lakovic that they got at 27. Milton Gastrin, like you said. Parasak, I'm not sure how Parasak is going to work. I'm not even sure how his season went. I didn't really check his stats. They had a guy also that I like last year, Eric Smateko, another big guy. Like they are doing good things, and like they're a playoff team. They're a solid team. Obviously, they're gonna lose Ovechkin at some point. Like they're on the older side, but they're rebuilding that pool at the same time that they have a strong core at the NHL. So I think they definitely deserve to be there at number 7 for sure.
Yeah, Ryan Leonard is one that I think is going to be a star. Like I just see star in him, and it's star contributor. Like he was just so good with Will Smith and Gabe Perreault, and
one of the reasons why I had Justin Carbonneau as high as I did at number 8 or 7 is because I think he plays like Ryan Leonard. He has that same type of energy, same type of like what Ryan Leonard was always 100%, right? And Carbonneau was not always 100%. That's like the main difference. I think like Carbonneau maybe has more natural skills than Ryan Leonard, but I think they both have like that fire and that speed and that shot and that willingness to go to the inside. It's just Ryan Leonard was 100% of the time and Carbonneau was 80% of the time. So I feel like they are like similar player. That's why I was very high on Carbonneau. So obviously Ryan Leonard is in the same category of player, and I think it's like he's going to be held to play again. So yeah.
Who do you have at 7?
So now we said, so what's the order? We said Chicago first, San Jose second. Then we said Montreal third. Who we said that fourth?
I had
Islanders, right?
Yeah, I had Islanders.
Islanders at
5
4th,
Utah.
5 Utah, 6 was the Ducks, and then 7 was Washington. After that, I think
8.
so. Now 8 it could be like Calgary or Kraken. Like the Kraken are loaded at center. I think
I was thinking Columbus as well, but Jackson Smith, Caden Lindstrom, like Andrianov, but they probably aren't. Maybe Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle would be like Berkeley Catton, Jake O'Brien. They have Carson Rekoff, Johnny Nyman that played a couple games. That guy can't skate, but he has a big shot. But outside of that, who they have? Like they have Nathan Villeneuve, who's like a physical guy. They have Edouard Chala, who's nothing basically.
Oh, I know who I'm going. Flyers.
Yeah. What's their
You
top?
So Jet Luchenko was picked last time. I have opinions on him, but still should be in there. Porter Martone, Jack Nesbitt. You have Carter Amico, Jack Murtagh, Shane Van Sage, Matthew Guard. Like
on defense, it's
Oliver Boink, Denver Barkey.
Boink. It's Bonk.
Bonk.
Boink.
That's his new name. His name's Boink. Oliver Bonk.
Did it take one this year, D? I don't remember.
Carter Amico.
Yeah. The defense is rough as hell, but
they got Boink.
Yeah, he's not bad. I think he's going to be a top four defenseman, but I think he's going to be like a number 4 defenseman. And the production that he's been putting on in the OHL, like how many times in the NHL do you see a defenseman shooting from the bumper? Like, name one team that has a defenseman in the bumper position. There's 0. So basically, like 90% of his production is canceled at the NHL level. So I think he's going to be good, but I don't think he's going to put I think he's not going to be an offensive player. He's going to be able to play, like to move the puck, but not going to put a lot of points on the board, I think. But yeah, I think I could agree. But is it really better than Seattle with Berkeley Catton and Jake O'Brien?
I mean, the high end is with Seattle. Flyers have the depth.
Yeah, because they have Martone. Yeah. But Berkeley Catton is special. Man.
Berkeley is great. I think that they have Hellenius too, don't they?
No, that's Hellenius is Buffalo.
Oh yeah, sorry. I mean, he'll probably be a Kraken one day. If he hits.
Once he's good. Like in a couple trade deadlines from now.
They have Saleh. They have
but Saleh is like. I mean, like I still had him at the end of the year. Still had him in my first round, but I remember every time I watched him, I was like, "What is he doing? And what player? What is he at the NHL level? Like, okay, you can do stuff at the U18s and stuff like that, but even then, he wasn't that great. But like at the NHL level, what type of player is he? Like,
he's like shades of Wayne Gretzky, but he's just not good, you know.
He's just shades of Wayne. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't say that, but
I'm just joking. I was surprised, but that he went where he went. The 2023 class was just absolutely amazing. I have no idea how Andrew Cristall fell that far, and I have no idea why the Blackhawks took Adam Guyan when he was passed over in the previous draft. I heard a podcast that like the Blackhawks wanted to fire every one of their scouting staff, or every team should have after not seeing Guyan, and then Guyan like played good in 3 games at the international tournament, and that's why.
It was a weird
as
take,
as he did.
It was a weird.
It was
take.
super weird.
And even like we didn't talk about Calgary, but Calgary has like Zane Perek, Cole Reshny, Colin Potter, Bruce Devix, Henry
Luke
Muse.
Misa.
Yeah, Luke Misa. They have a lot of like offensive defensemen that might just never make it, like Henry Muse and Etienne Morin and what's the other one? Like Hunter Brustevics, which is not necessarily an offensive defenseman, but a guy that might not make it too. But they have like players like Jacob Batiglia, Sam Honzek, Adar Suniev, who had a pretty decent season after his draft year. Like it's solid. It's at the top for them with Zane Perek, Colin Potter, and Cole Rejny, but I think they can compete with the other ones because basically Zane Perek is on the same level as Berkeley Catton, same level as Porter Martin probably in terms.
We
of
did
player.
forget somebody. The Hurricanes with Alexander Nichushkin,
Nikishin,
who is who is 23 and has not played over 25 games, as well as they have an absurd amount of prospects, especially Russian, for years 18. They have Frolov now. Philip Ekberg is a good pick. Charlie Serrato. Like, who are the good ones? Jaden Perron.
Because Ekberg and Serrato are not necessarily like Ekberg is great value pick in the 7th round,
but it's a 7th round. It's like 5%.
It's not necessarily a good pick. Like it's not like you project him at the NHL necessarily.
Nikita Artemanov is a good pick.
Yeah, that was a good pick. Ryabkin this year. Bradley Nadeau.
Yeah,
Bradley Nadeau's a good shooter. Incredible shot, actually. He's not just a good shooter; he's an incredible shooter.
I think they should be in the top 10. Maybe it's 9, maybe it's 10. I think Red Wings, like you said, should also be in the top 10. And then Columbus, like even though Utah's still in there, so it's going to be tough to squeeze all these teams in here. Like out of those 4, who do you think should not be in the top 10?
I think there's only 2 spots left or 3 spots left. 3 spots, right? We're at number
2.
8. So
or
no,
8,
8, 9, 10. Yeah.
3, yeah.
So I think Philadelphia has to be in because of Martin. And I think Utah has to be in because of Berkeley Catton. I'm going by star power there. And the next one would be between Carolina and... Well, we didn't put Detroit down either, like with Access and Pelican Carter
Carolina,
Bear.
Detroit, or Columbus.
Or Calgary, too. Calgary, too, could be there because of Zane Perek, Colin Potter, Cole Rejny. It depends how much you like Zane Perek. Like, I feel like he's still very much a question mark. Like, I think he's going to play and he's going to put incredible points in the NHL. I think that's going to be a problem. It's just how well is he going to defend? It's just when you watch him, he looks so nonchalant all the time. He looks like he's an overcooked spaghetti. He's just always like, meh. so I don't like the style that he played, but at the same time, he's always the smarter player on the ice. He sees the ice so well. He can make any play. He has the skills. He has the shot. He has the skating. He's not that small. He's like 6 foot, 180 something. So I think he projects super well at the NHL level. It's just how his defense and physicality is going to translate. That's going to be the problem because he doesn't look like a competitor. He doesn't look like a guy who wants to be like better than the other player who wants to get out of the corner with the puck and something like that. And at the NHL level, those things are really, really important. So yeah, it depends on how much you value Zane Perek. I think he's an incredible player. I just don't know what's going to be at the NHL level.
I don't know.
So I'll go with Philadelphia. I'll go with Philadelphia at number 8 because of Porter Martin, because Porter Martin is Porter Martin. And I think at 9, I would go with Seattle because of Berkeley Catton. And then number 10, I'll let you decide whatever you want because I can't make that decision.
Well, I wanted Flyers like higher, so Flyers at 8 is good. 9, Seattle, it's like they've just stockpiled. 10, I'm going to go Carolina, I think. I think Carolina's a really good pick for just... You have a lot of good players there, and I forgot about Alexander
Nikishin.
Yeah, Nikishin.
Yeah. Nichushkin is Colorado.
Got it. Yeah, that's what it is. It's so hard to evaluate some of the Russian players because I have like very little viewings other than when I got Instat this year, and I was not really watching them. I was watching like actual like draft eligible prospects. So I do need to watch a lot of the Russian players more. The Blackhawks only have Cancerov, so I saw a couple Cancerov highlights, but I was just focusing on the goals.
It's funny, man, because every year, there are Russian players that I like. Like I remember last year there was a guy that plays a little bit like a power forward, Fyodor, and Carolina took him. There was Timur Kohl, the defenseman, and Carolina take him. This year there was Bosov, and Carolina took him. And then there's Ryabkin, and then Carolina took him. And Artamonov, and then Carolina took him. And it's even like a couple years ago, there was like this tiny player, but plays with a lot of energy, a little bit like a Lev Katzin type of player. It was, what's his name? Timur Mukhanov. And like super dynamic player, but very, very small. It's like a 5'8" or something like that, playing in the MHL at the time, like 2 years ago. And Carolina took him. So every players that I like in Russia, like even before I had Instat, like I think like the MHL is like one of the easiest league to watch, because the quality I feel like is always good, even compared to the OHL, which is always grainy and dark and stuff like that. Like the MHL always have like decent quality cameras, and like the website works really well. So I used to watch a lot of their games, or like recap game and stuff like that. And every year there's some Russians that I really like, and Carolina end up taking him every single time. So, so even if they're their long shot to make it to the NHL, I think that they're really good bets.
Carolina is very good at drafting. I want to know their efficiency numbers on players that they hit on, but a lot of the times they are picking best player available, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Like Ryabkin going down that far.
Like Ekberg in the
Limitov.
7th round was obviously the best player available. Last year there was the tiny player from the Q, but that has incredible shooting skills, and was like a little bulldog.
No, not Jaden Perron.
Poirier, Justin Poirier.
Oh, just
Yeah, so they took Justin Poirier, which was like a 50-goal scorer last year in his draft year. Then they took him like in the 4th round, something like that. Like every year when they're going to pick, when they're going on stage, and you're like, the next best player is that player. That's the player they're taking. Basically, it's
and they're
like
trading
following
their
the
pick to
public
Blackhawks.
list. Huh?
They're gonna
And
trade
what?
their first to the Blackhawks.
Oh yeah, why?
Because the last 2 years they've traded their late first round pick to the Blackhawks for 2 second rounders.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they also got Badinka last year in the beginning of the 2nd round. Like,
That was the guy that they took from
yeah,
the Hawks.
they moved back and they got the player they wanted, as far as I remember.
And Nikita Artamonov.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really, really good. Like, we just don't know if they're gonna hit. Like, they've been drafting this way for a while, but there's not that many players that reach the NHL level. So
That's the weird part.
yeah, exactly. Like, there's a lot of good shots. It's just not many of them have hit yet. They also have Kurban Limetov, another defenseman that I really like this year, and they took him too. So, like, I mean, they're great at drafting Russian, and we just don't know if they're going to make it. But at least now it's going to be Alexander Nikishin year this year. So I'm excited to see what it's going to be finally in the NHL level. I've been hyping him up for years. So, yep, excited to see that.
Yeah, is there any last things before we close out?
No, all the other ones are not good. Well, I feel like a shout out is deserved for like Calgary. Shout out is deserved for
Red Wings, Blue Jackets.
yeah, the Red Wings. Like, it sucks for them because they have a good prospect pool. It's just it's a deep prospect pool of NHL players. It's not a deep prospect pool of high-end players. Like, I love Carter Bear, but is Carter Bear better than Berkeley Catton? Is Carter Bear better than Porter Martone? Is Carter Bear like better than those players? I don't think so. I would take Roger McQueen over him. I would take a lot of player over Carter Bear. Same thing with Axelson and Pilika. I like Axelson and Pilika. I think he has one of the most phenomenal shot outside of the NHL, at least for a defenseman. It's incredible the way he can release that one-timer and that wrister from the blue line. But I never liked the way he defend. I never thought that he was a competitive player that much. So I think he's going to play, and I think he's going to be good. I just think it's going to take some time. But after that, there are players that are interesting, like not Excel, but what's his name? The guy they took last year, Branson Nygaard and the Danielson, and before that it was Marco Kasper. So they have a type of player, and they just keep taking that type of player year after year, and that's going to make them have one of the strongest middle six in the NHL. But maybe the star power is going to be very limited, though.
Yeah, and I want to shout out the Wild, who have Riley Heidt, Zeev Boyum, Aaron Kuviharju, who was the number one pick a year before the draft. Maybe not number one pick, but it was just like far fall. They got a lot of players, so I feel like
he was a franchise player in NHL 23 or something like that.
Yeah, he's like the greatest player of all time. Who else do they have? Well, they have Kirill Kaprizov, which doesn't.
It's not a prospect, but it's a strong player.
Shout out them for Kirill Kaprizov, who's going to be a Blackhawks player.
Man, I hope Demidov becomes something like that. Man, I would be.
I hope not.
But, you hope not? We're gonna shut this thing down right now.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
no more on the clock. We're done.
Yeah. This is a Habs podcast now. I start a Habs podcast to just like get everybody to get like lower on Demidov so that the Hawks can trade Levchinov for him. Which we could have had him. Yeah, I can't talk about this anymore. Predators, I think, also have a good prospect pool. You have Brady Martin, and then they won the offseason last year, so that was huge for them.
Was huge. Finished bottom five was huge.
Yeah. You get Riker Lee, Jacob Rombach, Tanner Molendyke, Andrew Gibson's pretty good. Jack Ivankovic is good.
I think they had a phenomenal draft outside of Brady Martin at number 5. It's not because Brady Martin is not good. Like, Brady Martin is a fantastic player. It's just I don't think he's top 5 type of player. But like outside of that pick, because it's not a value pick, the pick is good. It's just it's not a value pick. But the rest of the draft is really good in my opinion. So they did help their prospect pool a lot there.
I don't understand the like Brady Martin getting top 5 hype, and then it wasn't the team we all thought it was going to be. Like, everyone thought it was going to be Utah, but then it was Nashville. So I have no idea what that was about. I really don't.
Yeah, but they're going to be hard to play against. They also have like players like Reed Schaefer there, who's also another guy that's a banger. So at some point, it's going to be not fun to play against them. But I think it might take a while, because if you don't draft star player when you have the chance to, it might get a little bit complicated down the road.
Yeah, and to close this out, because just to talk about it, the Blackhawks were number 1. So that was pretty. Shout out all the Blackhawks fans out there. But if there's a comment or something you disagree in, definitely comment down below, as well as tell us what you guys want to see over the upcoming episodes for the offseason, because there's a lot of leeway we can do with this. So comment and do things like that. We're on our way to 10 million. So we just need, 9.99998 more. So we're close.
Close enough. Yeah. Next one, we do it in a sauna.
Yeah, it's going to be an IRL stream. I'm going to just be in there, and it's just going to be me in there while you just talk. Yeah, I don't even know if electrical could go in there, but I'm going to try.
And like you said, shout out to the Blackhawks being number 1, and shout out to the Habs being number 3 and actually making the playoff. Being first and being last in the NHL is one thing, but being third and being like in the playoff is something else. Just saying. Yeah,
and I'm just very happy for Habs fans to have gotten Reinbacher over Michkov. Like, that was a really good pick.
Good pick. Well, at least that's what people are telling me every day on Reddit and X. Like, every time I'm like, this pick sucks. Everybody are like, no, it's super good.
Yeah, I mean, like, Artem Levchinov is at least like super good. So like, I feel like that's really
exactly
good,
yeah. Cool. We'll take care, Renzel.
The podcast is over.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're done, right?
Yeah. That's how we should end it.
Thanks everybody for watching. We're gonna keep doing this over the summer. We're gonna be talking about different prospect pool. We're gonna be talking about the 2026 draft soon enough. All kinds of things coming. If you have ideas on what we should do, just comment down below so we can actually have other ideas, because right now we have like 2. And but keep tuning in. And that's it. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
See you in the next one.
And follow us on Spotify.
Oh, okay. On Spotify, and go see him on X and me on X and
Yep. Yeah, all that. Every link will be in the description on my channel and Billy Tripp's Prospects channels too.
Yeah, on the road to 10 million. Thank you for watching. Peace.